What is up, y'all? It is Bernadette Joy. Are you someone who is ready to start a side hustle, but you're like, what am I supposed to do now? Maybe you're someone who's paralyzed by the analysis paralysis and you really want to know what you should be doing, but you don't know where to start. This video is for you. And so if you want to learn from a debt-free millionaire and an entrepreneur like me, stay tuned. I'm going to share with you some of my best tips on where to start, what resources to look for, how to 10x your business, and how to stay on track and celebrate your milestones along the way. And specifically, you're gonna see some of my favorite highlights from my recent appearance at a great conference in Puerto Rico for women of color who are entrepreneurs and ready to scale their businesses to six figures. Stay tuned, let me know what you think in the comments, and I am excited to see you on the flip side.
Bernadette, tell us a little bit about your journey and what kind of led you to tell us your backstory.
Sure. Hi again. So y'all heard debt-free millionaire, investor. I am also a business owner in this context today. And who's had multiple careers? Yes. So I consider me being a business owner my fourth career. My fourth career. I'm 38 and this is my fourth career. First generation Filipino American. I like to say we're the Latinos of Asia.
Yes.
My name is Bernadette Joy Cruz Mullion. If you have four names, you can be Latino, right? So
we could be cousins. I'm a Cruz too, so we might be related. Just saying.
Other Cruzes?
Just saying.
Hey.
Oh hey. Hey, primas.
All right, sorry, I digress. First generation Filipino American, born and raised in Queens. Someone was like, you know how to salsa? I'm like, I'm from Queens. Of course I know how to salsa. And long story short, I spent the first 30 years of my life just playing small, just doing exactly what I thought I was supposed to do. Doing the corporate job, getting the degrees that you heard yesterday. I went through my first career in HR. I worked in financial services, found out that they were mostly evil, and decided I wanted to do something different, and so I went into tech, and I was head of HR for a tech company at 28, 29 years old, and I was like, wait, is this it? Like, working for these two white guys? And so at some point I said, you know what? These guys are not that smart, but they are really good salespeople, and they don't care about showing up to a room and selling something that doesn't even exist yet. So I was like, wow, I actually have stuff that exists. I have knowledge and experience and things that I think other people can do. And so, funny enough, my next career after that was actually running a fashion retail business. If you can't tell, I love clothes. I ran that for 3 years. It was like a local Rent the Runway. And the whole concept was to help women save money, not spending so much on things that they're only going to wear one time. And then I realized that actually the thing I loved more than fashion was helping people save money and feeling really confident going to events, like not feeling like you have to keep up with everybody else. And so that evolved into the podcast, which eventually turned into Crush Your Money Goals, which if I'm being honest, I really only went heads in. Perfect timing, January 2020. Entirely predicated on mass gatherings and had to pivot really quickly. The benefit that I've had in my experience was that I built a lot of my personal finances really well before I went heads onto the business.
Wow. Many more questions for you too. Circling back. I'm taking notes as we talk because you guys are just already dropping so much wisdom. So each of you guys all had kind of these moments where the flip switch and you decided like, I'm going to do this myself. I'm going to launch a business. But I'm curious for anyone who's either at that stage or, you know, has the inspiration to grow something, but they don't know where to start. Was there one or two resources for each of you that was key that like helped you educate yourselves to really understand, okay, I have this idea, but I have no idea where to begin?
Before that, can we give it up for Bernadette's pants? Which let me know
Yes.
where you got those
Oh, those
from,
are
'cause I want
pants.
it. Thank you. Thank you.
I thought it was a skirt. Now it's even better that they're pants.
Anyone else kind of risk averse in here? It doesn't look like it, but I'm actually pretty risk averse. I'd love to share some more tips on how you can get moving on these next things, even if you're scared to do it. Because for me, I just crossed over like 500K in my business. Thank you. Woo. But I had the privilege of being able to like take my time and make a lot of mistakes because I figured out my finances before that. I was just gonna sound self-serving, but for me, it's been conferences. Specifically in my first 3 years, I would just pick 4 conferences a year. Once a quarter, I would go to a conference where I knew there were people who were doing it better than me. If it was a conference where I thought I was one of the top people there, that's not the right conference for me. Specifically, with the conferences, I tasked myself with getting 10x what I paid. I have a notebook, and I write down whatever I learned from the conference, and I say, what are the 3 things that's going to 10x what I spent on this conference? And so that particular practice is what specifically got me to start doubling, tripling my income year over year. More specifically, when I hear people saying good things at the conference, how do I apply that to my business? So I actually just came from another conference, and there's a YouTuber, Ali Abdaal, who does like productivity. Okay, he's at this conference. I'm freaking going because he knows something. What has been resonating in my head is he said, there's 3 things you need to do as an entrepreneur. You need to get started, then get good, then get smart. But a lot of us are trying to get smart before we get started. Right? They're like, let me know exactly what, yeah, right? Let me know exactly what I need to do before I do the thing. And it's like, no. That's actually backwards. You just need to move your ass. And then you need to move your ass faster. And then you need to do it in less time, right? So get started, get good, get smart. Specific, I'm gonna say all of us, and please message us. Let us know what are the 3 things you're gonna take from this conference to 10x your business.
And that was your business plan right there. So make sure you wrote that down.
And
Thank
can
you.
I add something? I love how intentional that is. Like when you were telling that story, you're like, I went to these conferences and I decided I'm going to 10x this. Like it's a decision. I don't want you to like make decisions that you invest in, whether it's a conference, whether it's a book, whether it's a whatever. You have to decide to get the return investment. Don't go somewhere and be like, well, that wasn't as good as I thought. No, that's your job to get your money's worth in ROI. Like that is so intentional.
So we've talked a lot here at the summit about value and knowing your worth and even just thinking about business models. And I'm curious for each of you guys, all right, you started a business, now you're figuring out what is my worth? How am I gonna price this out? How am I gonna figure out what I'm charging for my services? What was that process like for each of you guys?
Okay, so this is where the Asian is gonna come out of me. So this is like, me was just pure math. It was just pure math. So starting today, I'm going to task everyone to say, I'm going to own $1 million business. Okay? I'm going to own $1 million business. Now, whether you get there in 10 years or 30 years or 1 year, no difference, right? So number 1, eyes on your own paper. Remember in school, don't be looking at cheating other people's stuff. Doesn't matter what everyone else is doing. They got there in 1 year, and it takes you 10 years, whatever. You're going to have $1 million business. So the way that I thought about this was, okay, if I want $1 million business, then what will get me there, right? I could sell so this is the very extremes. I could sell one person $1 million product or 1 million people a $1 product. Neither of those sound great, right? That sounds terrible. So then I was just like, okay, well then what feels reasonable? Okay, and then these are just playing with the zeros. 10,000 people, $100. Is that feasible? In 10 years, is 1,000 people a year feasible? That still feels really hard, actually. So I was like, well, what about 100 people at $10,000? 100 people at $10,000. And so in my particular business, I decided that I wanted to be impactful to a very small amount of people than inspirational to a lot. So that was just the path I chose. I'm not saying the inspirational path is wrong, but for me, I was like, okay, if I do nothing else but help 100 women materially change their lives and it costs them $10,000 to do that, that feels good to me. And then I went backwards from the $10,000 to say, well, what can I offer these women for $10,000 that's actually going to materially change the game? And so then for me, it was $1,000 a month so it was like $12,000, it was basically $1,000 a month, or you pay $10,000, you get 2 months free. And that's how I started. I was like, okay, what can I offer them for $1,000? And so in my space, it's coaching and it's consulting and teaching. But I also made sure, and this is again where all the zeros come in, is that they're 10xing. So when I say, you need to go 10x what you got here, I practice what I preach in my business. I'm like, I will not sell you something unless you're 10xing. So for me to sell to them $1,000, I have to almost guarantee them, actually I do guarantee them because I will give them their money back. If you don't make at least $10,000 off of what I told you to do, then I'll give your money back. So that 10x thing has helped me in so many ways to just like get rid of the mental clutter and just focus on like making the math.
Can I add something really quickly?
No, you cannot.
No.
Yes.
No, I just want to add because I know you might be listening to this and you might be like, but my prices and my community and the people I want to serve, but I serve teachers, but I serve students, but I serve people of color or marginalized communities. That's where my clients are. And I want you to stop telling yourself the story that our people can't afford X.
Yes.
Like, look around this room. Look around this room. You know how much money was spent in the air getting every single person put money, cash money down to be here? You have plenty of proof that your community that you care actually does spend money. But the best way that you can serve as an entrepreneur, the best way you can serve that community is by you stepping up and getting wealth in your life so that we can help those communities. But stop telling yourself this story because it's not serving you.
So all of y'all are very impressive, and you each have amazing journeys, and you're bringing in the money, right? You're doing it all. What does a typical day in each of your lives look like? Bernadette, tell me what's like your day to day.
Any rich aunties? I'm not a mom. Right here. Okay, yes. All right, so I fully embrace the rich auntie life. So
Yes.
I wake up whenever. I'm being honest.
We love it. We love it. We love it.
Whenever it suits me, I wake up and I work 20 hours a week, and I'm very strict about it. I work 20 hours a week, but when I work the 20 hours, it's a hella intense 20 hours. I'm sorry, we have to shout out Kimberly because I told her about this conference on last Sunday, and then she booked her flight and showed up within 4 days, right? So, when you want something, you go do it, right?
Right.
All right, so I was telling Kimberly this morning that I work 20 hours, but it's a hella intense 20 hours, and it's either like hella intense or vegetative state, basically. It's what I am. So it's like 20 hours, and then Mondays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, I'm not working. I'm not working. On Sundays, I lock my phone in my car. I put it in my dashboard, and I do not take it out on Sundays. And people know, and everyone knows, she's not going to respond. And if something's happening, you can text my husband if something is really going on, right? The tip to you, right, is be like so protective of your time, and you can only do one thing at a time. So when you're at work, you're at work. And when you're with your husband, I am with my husband. When I'm with my friends, I'm with my friends. Anyone who's a solopreneur doesn't have a team. I don't have a team, and people are always shocked about it. They're like, how are you doing this? How are you doing PR, whatever? I don't have anyone who's on my team right now, and I actually don't want to. I actually fully embrace solopreneur life. I was in HR for 15 years. I don't want to hire people anymore. I'm good, right? So it is possible to scale up to 6 figures as a solopreneur, working 20 hours a week, but it has to be incredibly intentional. Like when people say intentional, it is scheduled out on, like when it says like I'm meditating, it literally says meditating on my schedule. So the biggest tip I can give you is be highly protective of the time. Choose today how many hours you're going to work per week and stick to it.
1,000%. That tip of locking your phone in the car, I don't have a car, but I'm going to lock my phone somewhere on Sundays because that is
discipline.
a good tip. Yeah.
If anyone's a K-pop fan, Lisa has a lyric that says, you know, I put money on the table, not your dinner.
Yes. I love that. Yes.
So I said that to my husband, and he's the one who cooks dinner now.
Somebody put that on a shirt.
Wow.
I love that.
Oh man, I think we're almost out of time, so I want to open it up to questions. But my last question for you guys was just about I wanted to talk a little bit about marketing because each of y'all are like marketing geniuses. And I feel like one of the top questions I keep hearing from this group is just about marketing. So if you were giving advice to someone who is really just like starting out and they're like, where do I even start? How do I get the word out about my business? What would be your advice?
I don't think I'm a good marketer, but I'm really good at being on other people's platforms and providing value and content for their audiences. I mean, Janice is one of my biggest advocates. She's shared with her platform, including right now, right, where I didn't have to create this event. I just showed up, right? So before you try to create your own podcast, your own whatever, Go see who needs your content and go there first.
Make those connections now.
Literally today, find 5 people who needs content on their platform and you go be a guest. Just be a guest. And then the other piece that was really helpful to me specifically, and this is what she said, is email just converts better. Like it's harder to sell off of social media. I came here as a learner too. Like I'm here to double my email list. Not you guys don't have to be in my email list. Well, actually, you know what? You should be on my email list. You should be on my email list, all right? But just the numbers show in my own data that people bought after they were on my email list. It was less likely if they're just coming off of the other platforms. So if nothing else, build your email list.
Do we have time for questions?
Hi, everybody. I'm Charlie. I have a podcast.
And needs guests. And needs guests.
I was going to say, so my podcast is the Unicorn Millionaire podcast. I'm a money coach, but I'm all about twerking, and my website looks like a unicorn threw up everywhere.
We love it.
Sparkles and glitter. We're here to make money fun and accessible. My question is, how do you celebrate your milestones? Because I feel like as first gens, we're always used to doing such cool ass shit, but Kat taught me that you have to celebrate everything.
So anytime someone sends me a testimonial, they got something really great, I copy it into a folder in my email box, and when I feel like shit, I go read it. And then I actually, and this is part of like what I teach my clients, is 25% of my revenue goes towards fucking living. Like, so I go to concerts. If I have a major milestone in my business, like that's my permission to go buy that expensive concert ticket. So I, practically speaking, will earmark a certain part of my revenue towards just celebrating.
Well, you guys, this was amazing. I was up here taking notes. Like, you guys were amazing. Thank you all for everything. Do it. Just do all the things that they said, and you will
Go
be
take some
millionaires.
action.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe to the channel here to learn from me, Bernadette Joy, your rich auntie and your debt-free millionaire mentor. And if you want to learn more specific tools and resources to help you save money, to help you invest, to pay off debt, and to grow your business, check out my free guide at crushyourmoneygoals.com/free guide, and you can get all of my tips and my tools for free, starting your journey today. See you next time.